I'm Isabel. Welcome to the evening news. The British National Party leader, Nick Griffin, has denied he's a Nazi during his controversial first appearance on the BBC One discussion programme Question Time. During the recording, he claimed he was loaded by Nazis in Britain because of the direction he had taken the far-right party. Asked by presenter David Dimbleby if he had ever denied the Holocaust, he replied, "I do not have a conviction for Holocaust denial." Mr. Griffin, 50, shared the platform with Justice Secretary Jack Straw, Tory peer Baroness Warsi, Liberal Democratic Home Affairs spokesman Chris Huhne, and writer Bonnie Creer. The Obama administration is set to slash the payoff top earners at banks and car makers bailed out by the US government. The plan calls for halving overall compensation and cutting cash salaries payout by an average of 90% to try and address public outrage over the excessive amounts. The sweeping cuts being negotiated by US pay czar Kenneth Feinberg would mark a bold move for an administration that has railed against excessively high pay on Wall Street. Blockbuster earnings, bonuses at Goldman Sachs and other companies that receive taxpayer assistance have stoked public anger over compensation as the US grapples with almost 10% unemployment and little help for homeowners struggling to pay mortgages. Ethiopia has appealed for emergency food aid to help feed 6.2 million people, 25 years after more than 1 million perished in the country's notorious famine. Aid workers say a 5-year drought is affecting more than 23 million people in 7 East African nations. Ethiopia's State Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development said this year's rains were especially poor. He appealed for approximately 116,000 tons of food, worth $121 million, 11 tons of Ford-Field blended food for malnourished children and women, worth almost $9 million, and 45 million in non-food needs to meet the demand at 83 million people in the country. South Africa's World Cup organizing committees are certain the venues and infrastructure will be ready for next year's tournament. Chief Executive Officer of the committee, Danny Jordan, said he is confident that all the stadiums will be ready in December or January next year.
Yes, I'm confident that all the stadiums will be ready. Of course, the one in Cape Town, we always said it's December or probably next year. The completion date as we speak today is 14th December, but we may go into January because the Cape Town Stadium actually started 4 months later as a result of the objections of the environmental group in Cape Town, and so we had a late start to that.
US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says Iran must take quick action to carry out the plan under which it would send most of its low-enriched uranium abroad for processing. The deal would mean the country sends reserve to Russia and France for conversion into fuel for a facility in Tehran which produces medical isotopes. And finally tonight, a news anchorman remained unflappable when a giant seagull decided to walk behind him during a bulletin in Australia. In a bizarre TV moment, a large bird stole the show on Channel 9 News in Melbourne. It walked across a projection of a cityscape, appearing massively magnified and mildly terrifying. But newsreader Peter Hitchner stayed professional and carried on telling viewers about the murder case. And that's all the news for this Friday. Thanks for joining us. Good night and goodbye.